B-Rat says, it seems that all my ideas pop up when I can't sit down and record, like when I'm at work or elsewhere. So producing a couple tracks a week as I sit down to create has been tough. I get that too. I understand that. What I had to do, or what I still do sometimes, if I'm just random, like out at the park or something with kids, I'll just record a voice note. Another dope feature that Netflix has, I wonder if I can pull it up on the, I don't really use it on my computer because, yeah, I don't even know if the login is saved on this train. Let me see. Incorrect password, of course. But Netflix has this feature. I know I have it on my iPad, but sometimes if I'm watching a show, I'll hear some music and I'm like, oh, shoot, like I love that tempo, or I love it. Matter of fact, it just happened. I was watching YouTube the other day and it was like a documentary and I heard a dope beat on there. I was like, that tempo is perfect. So I created it, like pulled up Logic and got to dial the tempo in. But Netflix has it to where you can save a spot or like a moment on a particular show. So if you hear inspiration, you can save it real quick and then go back to it later. So I've used that a couple times, which was pretty cool. I'll use my phone voice note. That helps a lot with saving ideas and things like that. But yeah, I feel you. Like, because if you don't do something to get it down, and you just forget it, and then shoot, by the time you finally get down to sit down, you're tired and not as creative. But if you can at least get the idea down or record it, you don't have to really think as much. You can just execute. So I try and take advantage of my creative time where when I have the energy, be creative, come up with the ideas. But then when I may be in a part of the day where it's like I'm a little lower energy, just running near the end of the day, I like to do things where it's just, it doesn't require like creative energy. It just requires execution. I just do it without having to think too hard. But yeah, I definitely feel you. Diesel says, working on 22 tracks right now and mixing and writing songs. Let's go. Love to see it. Aaron says, have you ever dealt with a library that goes radio silent after a while? And if so, how did you approach that? How long should I keep reaching out? Yes. Matter of fact, you just reminded me to reach out to a publisher that I haven't heard from in a while. I'll keep reaching out. So there's one of two ways I'll do it. The first way is to reach out giving value. And what does that look like for a publisher? They always need music. So reach out with new music. Hey, just put together this album, like a themed album. Is this something you can use? And then either it's yes or no. And then in the email, you say, if not, let me know if there's anything else you have a need, current needs or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So you can do that. Or you can just reach out and say, hey, hope all is well. Wanted to touch base and see what your current needs are and if I can help out with anything. Every time I've done that, usually it ended up in some more work. Like literally, they're just like, yeah, by the way, last company I did that to, they hit me back. It was like, oh yeah, actually, like we're in talk. That's how the France TV deal came about. I reached out. It was at the top of the year. So every year at the beginning of the year, I reach out and I say, hey, thank you for whatever work or whatever placements we got last year. Is there anything else, I can help out with currently or in the near future? So then that happened. It was just like, actually, yeah, we just did this deal with France TV. They're looking for these kind of tracks. Can you knock out some stuff for that? Absolutely. Boom. Then you got another deal in the works. You got some more tracks and then you're getting paid again. So that's how I would reach out. And I don't think, unless they just respond and say, yo, bro, stop talking to us, I'm going to keep reaching out. Not in a weird, obnoxious way. I'm going to occasionally follow up every month, every other month or something like that until they hit back. If they don't want to be contacted anymore, I'm sure they'll just let you know, yo, just stop. Just stop. Which would be wild, but you never know, man. You never know. So Miguel says, I tried using Logic Pro this week, but I've noticed projects take significantly more storage compared to Ableton Live. A Logic project, I have 300 megabytes, while an Ableton project takes 40 megabytes. Yeah, so Logic projects can get pretty beefy. And what I found is that you have to go in and clean up sessions. Like usually when I'm done, Today's video is brought to you by TV Placement Mastery. This is my high-level coaching program for producers to fast-track you to your first licensing deal within 90 days. Now, this is an invite-only program, so you have to apply, and I only work with a few producers at a time. So just go to tvplacementmastery.com or click the link in the description to apply. Especially if you're like saving as, okay, so if I'm starting a new session and I want to use what I have in this current session, a fully finished track, I'll hit save as, new title, blah, 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 boom, got the name session. But in doing that, it also takes all of the audio files and everything you've dragged into that session, into that new session. And even outside of that, I don't know, it's just like importing stuff. So sometimes you got to clean up and delete like unused audio files and things like that, and that will free up a lot of session space in Logic. And then it also has all this other stuff with their built-in plugins and the sample data and all this crap that they throw in there as well, and that definitely eats up some space. But yeah, I agree with you. Like Logic sessions, I think it's just, I don't know how they manage the files and the stuff that's being used, the resources, and they're just throwing all that stuff in there. I think Ableton is a little more efficient when it comes to the file management, in my opinion. And I still love Ableton's browser way better than Logic. Like Logic's browser, man, if they can fix that and get that as close to Ableton's browser as possible, man, I already love Logic. Like I've already decided, like, this is the DAW I'm going to live in for a while, but I do want to try out Luna though. But I think if they could do that, man, I think that would be super duper fire. Cause it's not like Ableton's. I'll say that. Shout out to Ableton's browser. No tortilla chips today. We got some masa chips on deck. They back there chilling. Fallen Butler, general question. How many tracks should I send to greater my chances getting accepted in a library? So I say anywhere from 5 to 10. 5 being a starting point, 10 being, here's 10 tracks in the same vein, and pitching those. I say it starts to get overwhelming once you start getting past like 10 at a time. I've seen cats submit, man, like 30 plus, and I'm like, yo, this is a lot. And it's weird because in theory, the more tracks, the better, right? These publishers always need music, but for some reason, sending that many tracks at once, it's just a turnoff. I don't know what it is. It's overwhelming. Like I've been on the receiving end of it, and it's just, fam, like it's easier to digest 5 to 10 tracks than it is 30 tracks, especially if there's going to be some type of feedback given, or if you're going to, it's just more manageable to handle it in small chunks at a time, in my opinion. So that's why 5 to get started, just get started, put 5 tracks together, boom. If you got 10, dope. But yeah, 5, 10. You heard earlier, like there's a few of us in there, like we're submitting like EPs and albums. I told you about my approach of submitting albums monthly. So those are going to be around, I think I'm going to keep my albums around 7 to 10 tracks. I think it'll be like 7 to 10. And yeah, just go from there. Rich says, so I haven't signed up for DistroKid yet, but they send me promo emails saying you can do a cover song. We'll take care of the rights and everything. Yeah, they do that. Like DistroKid, once you upload a song, you just click, this is a cover song, blah, blah, blah. And then they go from there. But yeah, I have done that with, they were public domain songs though, Christmas songs. I don't think I've done an actual cover and uploaded it on DistroKid.